Nothing will crush a real estate investor's spirit like landlord stress. The difference between being successful and miserable in managing properties is education. Welcome to Landlord University, where landlords learn. Landlord University is recorded from inside the RentPrep office, where Stephen White and Jeff Pearson share the lessons learned from working with some of the most successful landlords.
Welcome to Landlord University Night School. I'm Jeff Pearson, and this is my co-host,
Stephen White.
Hello, Stephen. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good, Jeff. So we're going to be talking about landlord associations and really asking the ultimate question of, are they worth your time as a landlord?
Right.
And I've got a unique perspective on this because I do a lot of speaking engagements at landlord associations and real estate investors associations, and I've made the rounds to all over the East Coast, doing this. So I've seen a lot of them. I've been inside a lot of their meetings. Um, I've been able to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of landlord associations. So it's a pretty common, question that we get is, is it even worth joining an association? Because none of them are free.
Right. What types of costs do you see with landlord associations?
Typically, it's a yearly fee. I've seen as low as $25 a year, and I've seen as high as a couple $100s a year. Um, I think that the cost benefit is really what you're looking is going to be what you're looking to get out of it, and the membership itself. The best advice that I could probably give is go to a meeting or two before you commit to join. They'll never turn you away. If anything, they'll make you pay a visitor fee, but a lot of times they'll let you visit for free, especially if they feel like they can reel you in. But I've seen visitor fees anywhere from $10 to $15 just to stop in, see a meeting or whatever. And you want to double check and see what their turnout is, because a lot of them will brag about the numbers that they have. They may have 200 members, but when you go to their meetings, they have 8 people show up. Or,
Right.
and turns out that they have some sort of a clause that says you don't have to pay a membership fee anymore after 10 years. And well, those 200 people have all been there and they're no longer showing up and they're not paying a membership, but they're technically still members.
Hmm.
Um, so double check the membership, show up to a meeting, talk to people, talk to the president of the association or whoever's in charge, and see for yourself the kind of value that they can offer, and ask specific questions. Do you guys have a lease agreement that you recommend using? Do you guys have an attorney that is a member or that you guys use? A lot of associations, the one that I can think of that's local here to us is the Western New York one. They've got an attorney that shows up every single meeting, and the guy's great. He'll sit in the corner. He'll answer questions before and after the meeting. Sometimes he's a guest speaker, uh, but great source of knowledge, and it's a resource that any member can use. They don't have to, you know, go to their own attorney. Maybe it's just a simple question they have. Maybe it's a question in theory, not even a specific situation necessarily yet. That's a great time to just talk things out and get a perspective on your specific local area and get just good information from people who chances are have been there and done that already.
Right. And like you said, you ask questions. When you get a chance after the meeting to network with some of these people, you can ask some of the members a few questions. Talk to them about their experience with the association. How has this been how has this been a benefit to you? Can you think of a specific situation where the association has helped you out? Either people giving you thoughts or advice or whatever. But try to dig in deep a little bit and get some specifics as to what benefit this has been to them so that you can apply that to your decision making process.
Yeah, and again, I've seen the full range of the spectrum of good and bad, and the good ones have they've thought of everything. They've got their welcome packet. The welcome packet usually has regional specific forms that they might need as a landlord. It has all kinds of stuff that any landlord would find useful. And then I've seen the other side of it where you know it seems more of like a social club than anything else. And they get their speakers that come in that don't really add a lot of value, that are looking to just sort of sell. That's another thing you want to be sure you're not joining an association that has interests otherwhere. I've also seen that where one association in particular had a pretty close ties with a local guru, real estate guru guy that was coming in and pitching his real estate seminars and stuff like that. And, it turned a lot of people off, and understandably so. They're not there to get pitched or sold anything. They're there for information and to learn and to benefit from other people's knowledge. So, so I said it never hurts to go in, check out a meeting or two, be sure that you like what you see. Um, they usually have couple deals too. If you're a husband and wife, or you got a business partner or something like that, they'll usually cut you a break. Give you one and a half instead of paying twice. Something like that. So, and they're usually, the good ones are really good networking opportunities. I've seen a lot of business deals get struck up at the end of the meeting when everyone's eating pizza and sort of find their spots and who they're sitting with, and you end up hearing a lot of good conversations going on about maybe a property they have for sale or a problem that they're having, and it's a good place again just to be in touch with your own community and what's happening with people who are doing the same thing as you.
Right. And one of the big things with any type of an association is if you're going to invest the money, be sure you're ready and willing to invest the time to plan to go to most or all of the meetings, depending on how often they have them. Once a month, most people can make just about every time. Once a quarter, without question, you should be able to go to every meeting if it's just once a quarter. If it's more often than once a month, then you'll kind of figure out what's it worth to you.
Right.
It's kind of crazy to join something like that and go once or twice and then never go again. So make the determination as to whether or not it's of value to you. And if it is, commit yourself. Because if you do commit yourself and you reach out and you start to meet some of these people, the benefits it can bring to you can be great.
Yeah, you gotta exactly, and you gotta go in with that mentality that once you join, you're now a part of that association. So I think there is a responsibility there to be the other side of it, be there for the next new guy that may have questions, or be that source of knowledge for somebody that you may have an experience with that you can help and help pass along that knowledge. Those are the best landlord associations, the ones that people are willing to share what they've learned, willing to share their experiences, and you know show up more than anything.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, definitely well worth it if it's done right. If it's not, then don't waste your time. You might want to check out a real estate investors association. That might be more up your alley. um, to be truthful with you, I personally think that real estate investors associations are probably more valuable than a lot of landlord associations. Landlord associations uh, tend to attract, I, I don't know the right word for it, more stagnant type of landlord that's just been a landlord for years and years, and they're set in their ways, and they join the meeting so they can, they join the association so they can get 10% off of Lowe's or something. The real estate investors associations, you got hungry people there who are actively investing, and most of them are landlords themselves, and they just have a seems to me a fresher perspective on things and more willingness to network, and they understand the value of what your contacts can do for you, so they're going to treat you a little bit differently, I feel like, too.
That's a really interesting point, because there is a little bit of a difference between a landlord association and a real estate investment association. And just like you talked about, finding the right landlord association and doing a little bit of research, find a good investment association that that borders between the two. Because I'm sure that you'll find some real estate investment associations that are totally on the opposite end of the spectrum of what you want it to be, which is kind of in the middle. That's, real estate investment, but people who do buy and hold, who have to be landlords, and you can get some good information from them. And especially if you are even thinking about investing again, making those contacts in a real estate investment association or club would be a really positive thing for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I've seen business deals being struck up at the investors associations. They seem to get really good speakers as well. So not only for the investment world, which they do get a lot of really great speakers, just specifically in terms of investing. But I've also seen, just another example here in the local one in Western New York. They got the eviction marshal to come out, and this guy talked for an hour about evictions and things that he's seen, and different strategies for landlords and how to be more successful with evictions and what to look for, what to avoid. I mean, it was super useful and just great information. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, sometimes the lines sort of blur there. So you might find that your local real estate investor association is better for you than the landlord association.
It's great advice. Well, thank you very much, Stephen. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow evening.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for listening to Landlord University. And remember to visit rentprep.com/landlordu to see show notes and access free resources like forms and guides. And be sure to check out Jeff Pearson hosting his own hit podcast at thementorimpact.com.